Good day, everyone. This video is all about special parallelograms, rectangle, square, and rhombus. Before we start our discussion, let us recall first the following concepts from our previous lesson. Quadrilateral is a four-sided polygon. Trapezoid is a quadrilateral with one pair of parallel sides. Kite is a quadrilateral with exactly two pairs of distinct equal consecutive sides. Parallelogram is a quadrilateral in which two pairs of opposite sides are parallel. Rhombus is a parallelogram with four congruent sides. Rectangle is a parallelogram with four congruent angles. And square is a parallelogram with four congruent sides and four congruent angles. Properties of a parallelogram. In a parallelogram, both pairs of opposite sides are congruent. Both pairs of opposite angles are congruent. Any two consecutive angles are supplementary. The diagonals divide it into two congruent triangles. And the diagonals bisect each other. Rectangles, rhombuses, and squares are a special type of parallelograms. Aside from the properties inherent to parallelograms, they possess properties that are uniquely their own. Again, we have three special parallelograms, namely rhombus, rectangle, and square. I have here a summary of the properties of parallelograms. First one, the sides of rhombus and square are equal, or all sides of rhombus and square are congruent. The opposite sides of parallelogram in general, including rectangle, rhombus, and square, are parallel. Opposite sides of all kinds of parallelogram, including rectangle, rhombus, and square, are equal or congruent. Opposite angles of parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus, and square are equal or congruent. The diagonals of rectangle and square are equal. The diagonals of rhombus and square are perpendicular. The diagonals of a square are equal and perpendicular. The diagonals of rhombus and square bisect each angle. The diagonals of parallelogram, rectangle, rhombus, and square bisect each other. The consecutive angles of rectangle and square are equal and supplementary. The opposite angles of rectangle and square are equal and supplementary. Rectangle and square has four right angles. And the consecutive angles of all kinds of parallelogram, including rectangle, rhombus, and square, are supplementary. Now, let us discuss some theorems on special parallelograms. The first one is the theorem on rectangle. If a parallelogram has right angle, then it has four right angles and the parallelogram is a rectangle. So here, ang sinasabi in this theorem, if it happens that one interior angle of a parallelogram measures 90 degrees, kasi pag sinabi nating right angle is an angle that measures 90 degrees. So kapag nagkataon ng isang interior angle ng isang parallelogram ay may sukat na 90 degrees, lahat na daw ng angle niya, interior angles niya, bawat interior angles niya ay right angles. Ibig sabihin, pati yung tatlong natira, tig 90 degrees na sila. Okay. So, bakit po kaya ganon? If we are going to consider the property opposite angles of a parallelogram are congruent, so kung ang isang interior angle ng parallelogram ay may sukat na 90, so yung katapat din niya, ang sukat ay 90. So, ilang 90 na yon? Ilang right angles na yon? Dalawa na. Okay. And, considering the property, any consecutive angles of a parallelogram are supplementary. Pag sinabi nating supplementary, ang sum ng kanilang angle measures ay equal kay 180 degrees. So, kung ang isang interior angle ay may sukat na 90, kung kukunin natin ang sukat ng kasunod niya or consecutive na angle sa kanya, so ang solution natin doon is 180 degrees minus 90 degrees. So, the difference is also 90 degrees. So, 90 degrees, right angle din siya. Kaya natin nasabi na kapag nagkataon na ang isang interior angle ng parallelogram ay may sukat na 90 degrees, all interior angles na natira, ang sukat din nila ay tig 90 degrees. And kapag nagkataon na ang parallelogram ay may apat na right angles, that parallelogram is a rectangle because it satisfies the definition of a rectangle. Kasi according to the definition, rectangle has 4 right angles. Next theorem is theorem on rhombus. The diagonals of a rhombus are perpendicular. When we say perpendicular or perpendicular lines are lines that when intersected, they form a 90-degree angle. So dito, kapag nag-intersect ang diagonals ng rhombus, nakakabuo sila ng right angle. So kung iano ninyo, parang nahati yung ating parallelogram into 4 right triangles. Yun po yung ibig sabihin ng perpendicular. Nagpo-form sila ng 90-degree angle or right angle. I have here some examples on how to solve problems involving parallelograms. Example 1. Parallelogram math is a rectangle. Find the value of x and the specified sides. So the given here is MT and HA. So una, alamin muna natin kung ano yung mga given. So ano po ba si MT at saka si HA? Si MT po at saka si HA, they are the diagonals of the given rectangle. So i-recall natin, ano po ba yung sinasabi sa property ng rectangle tungkol sa kanyang diagonals? So the diagonals of a rectangle are congruent. When you say congruent, pareho po ang sukat. So, para masagutan natin ito, or para mahanap natin yung value ni x, ang magiging equation natin, MT is equal to HA. So, ang mangyayari, 5x minus 14 is equal to 4x plus 6. Ganun po yung mangyayari dyan. And then, kung ano yung makuha natin na value ni x, para makuha yung value ni MT, or length ni MT, isa-substitute po natin siya dito. Okay, so let us apply the properties of parallelogram to solve example number 1 or to solve the given problem. So again, the unknown are, we have to find the value of x, the length of MT, and the length of AS. So again, since the diagonals of a rectangle are congruent, we have MT equals HA. Substituting the representation of MT and HA, we have 5x minus 14 equals 4x plus 6. And then, combine like terms. So, by additive inverse, di ba, positive 4x po ito. Kaya nagkaroon tayo ng minus 4x dito. And then, ito naman, syempre, ang pagsasamahin natin is constant, tsaka si constant, 14 and 6. So, dahil minus 14 yan, or negative 14, by addition property of equality, nagkaroon po tayo ng plus 14 dito. Then simplify, 5x minus 4x, 5x, bawasan ng 4 na x, isang x. Then, simplify 6 plus 14, that is equal to 20. Therefore, the value of x is equal to 20. Now, para mahanap natin yung length ni empty, since empty, ang given dito, empty is equal daw kay 5x minus 14. Nahanap na natin yung value ng x, which is 20. Since x is equal to 20, then empty equals 5x minus 14 will be, okay, by substitution, empty equals 5 times 20, which is the value of x, minus 14. 5 times 20 is equal to 100, minus 14, that is equal to 86. So, diagonal empty measures 86. For letter C naman, ang pinapahanap is AS. So, referring to our figure, AS is a segment of diagonal HA. According to the property of parallelogram, in a parallelogram, diagonals bisect each other. So when you say bisect, it divides the diagonal into two congruent parts. So we can say here, since MT bisect HA, therefore AS is congruent to SH. Or si AS po ay kalahati ni HA. And kanina sinabi natin na si MT ay congruent kay HA. Since MT ay equal kay HA. So, kung si MT ay 86, ang sukat ni HA ay 86. Ngayon, sinabi ko kanina, si AS ay kalahati ni HA. So, para makuha natin si AS, ayan po. Pag dinoble natin yung sukat ni AS, equal siya sa sukat ni HA. So, para makuha natin ang sukat ni AS, i-divide lang po natin si 86 by 2. Kaya, ang sukat ni segment AS ay equal kay 43. Kasi 86 divided by 2 is equal to 43. So again, the value of x is equal to 20. The length of empty, diagonal empty, is equal to 86. And the length of segment AS is equal to 43. So what are the properties that we applied para ma-solve natin yung problem number 1? Okay, diagonals of a rectangle are congruent, and the diagonals of a parallelogram bisect each other. So, like here, MT bisect HA. So, SA is congruent to HS. Or, twice the length or twice the measure of SA is equal to HA. For our example 2, parallelogram friend is a rhombus. Find the missing value using the given information. For letter A, if Rn, diagonal Rn, equals 20 centimeters, find NB, or segment NB. For B, if the measure of angle NDE is equal to x squared plus 65 degrees, find the value of x. Again, the unknown are the length of NB and the value of x. So for our solution, since rhombus is a parallelogram, its diagonals bisect each other. When you say bisect, hinahati po niya sa equal parts. So dito, si NB ay kalahati po ni diagonal Rn. So kung si Rn ay 20 centimeters, para makuha natin yung length ni ND, ND is equal to 1/2 the length of Rn. Since Rn is 20, 1/2 ng 20 ay 10 centimeters. So the length of ND is equal to 10 centimeters. In solving the value of x, the diagonals of a rhombus are perpendicular. Thus, angle NDE is a right angle. Okay, bakit kaya si NDE ay right angle? Ito pong angle na to. NDE, this angle. Perpendicular, when we say perpendicular, they form right angles. So, nung nag-intersect po yung dalawang diagonals, perpendicular yan. Ito, ang sukat nito ay 90 degrees. Kaya, meron po tayo dito. Hence, the measure of angle NDE is equal to 90 degrees. Ang given kanina, angle NDE is equal to x squared plus 65. So by substitution, x squared plus 65 is equal to 90 degrees. And then combine like terms. So constant po si 65, constant din po si 90. Kaya meron tayo dito, x squared equals 90 minus 65. Okay, bakit po minus 65? Dahil positive 65 po ito, by additive inverse, nagkaroon tayo ng minus 65. Then, simplify. So, x squared, 90 minus 65 is 25. Kung mapapansin ninyo, this is a quadratic equation. Kasi x squared po yan. Ang exponent po natin, or highest exponent po natin ay 2. So, meron tayong 4 na methods, di ba? In solving quadratic equation. Isa na po dun is by extracting square roots. So, yun po yung ginamit ko dito. So, in-square root po natin both sides. So, square root ng x squared is x. And then, naglagay tayo dito ng positive and negative. Then, square root ng 25, which is 5. Kaya meron tayong x equals 5 or x is negative 5. Another example involving rhombus, okay, using the same figure or the same rhombus, parallelogram friend is a rhombus. Find the missing value using the given information. If the measure of angle 1 is equal to 33 degrees, ito po yun, angle 1, this angle F and R, that is angle 1. Ang sukat daw ay 33 degrees. Find the measure of the other numbered angle. So, ito po yung hanapin natin. The measure of angle 2, measure of angle 3, measure of angle 4, measure of angle 5, measure of angle 6, measure of angle 7, measure of angle 8, and measure of angle 9. So, nakalagay naman po siya dyan. To solve for the measure of angle 2, angle 3, and angle 4, since each diagonal of a rhombus bisects opposite angles, therefore, the measure of angle 1 is equal to the measure of angle 2. One property of rhombus is that yung mga diagonal nila, hinahati nila yung opposite angle. Halimbawa ito, si diagonal FE. Diagonal FE bisects angle F and angle E. So, si diagonal FE, hinahati niya si angle F and angle E sa magkasukat na parts. So, dito, si angle 1 ay congruent kay angle 2. So, kung si angle 1, ang sukat ay 33 degrees, ayan po, if measure of angle 1 is 33 degrees, therefore, measure of angle 2 is equal to 33 degrees. Okay, bakit naman si angle 3 at saka si angle 4 ay 33 din? So, tandaan ninyo, since rhombus is a parallelogram, opposite angles ng parallelogram ay congruent. So, kung anong sukat nito, congruent din doon. Kung anong sukat nito, congruent din dito. So, kung 33 ito, 33 din yon. Kung 33 ito, 33 din ito. And then, alternate interior angles of a parallelogram are congruent. Diba? So, si angle 2, congruent din kay angle 3. Si angle 4, congruent din kay angle 1. Kaya, 33 din po lahat yan. For letter D, since the diagonals of a rhombus are perpendicular, again, when we say perpendicular, yung diagonals niya kapag nag-intersect, nakakabuo ng right angle. Therefore, measure of angle 5 is equal to 90 degrees because a right angle measures 90 degrees. Ito po yun, this angle. Diba, ito yung diagonals nila ng rhombus. Diagonal FE and RN na nag-intersect sila, ito yung point of intersection po nila, nakabuo po sila ng 4 na right angles. So, 90, this is 90, this is 90. Of course, angle 5 is also 90 degrees. For letter E, since measure of angle 1 plus measure of angle 5 plus measure of angle 6 is equal to 180 degrees, okay? Ano po ang concept dyan? Tignan nyo po, ito po si angle 1, yung 33 degrees kanina na given. Then, angle 5, ang sukat niya 90. Tapos, ito po yung angle 6 po natin na hinahanapan natin ng sukat. So, kung titingnan ninyo, itong figure na to, it is a triangle. Right triangle po yan. Nabanggit ko kanina, di ba? Yung rhombus, pag nag-intersect ang kanilang diagonals, nahati nila yung rhombus sa apat na right triangles. So, ito, isang right triangle na yan. And the sum of the interior angles of a triangle is equal to 180 degrees. Since angle 1, angle 5, and angle 6 is the interior angles of this triangle, their sum is equal to 180 degrees. So using the concept, we have here the measure of angle 6 is equal to 180 degrees minus the measure of angle 1 minus the measure of angle 5. By substitution, measure of angle 6 is equal to 180 degrees minus 33 degrees, the measure of angle 1, and then minus the measure of angle 5, which is 90 degrees. So 180 minus 33 minus 90, that is equal to 57 degrees. So the measure of angle 6 is equal to 57 degrees. Similarly, for measure of angle 6, it is equal to measure of angle 7, as well as the measure of angle 8 and measure of angle 9. So ito po yun, diba? This angle is congruent to this angle kasi yung diagonal, it bisect the opposite angle. And angle 6 is congruent to angle 9 kasi alternate interior angle yan. Angle 7 is congruent to angle 8 kasi alternate interior angle sila. So, kung si angle 6 ay 57, therefore, si angle 7 ay 57 degrees din. And since si angle 6 ay congruent kay angle 9, kasi alternate interior angle nga, therefore, si angle 9 ang measure din niya ay 57 degrees. And si angle 7 is congruent kay angle 8 because they are alternate interior angles. So, kung 57 degrees to, 57 degrees to, 57 degrees din to. So, the measures of angle 7 is 57 degrees, measure of angle 8 is 57 degrees, and measure of angle 9 is 57 degrees. For example 3, parallelogram best is a square. Find the missing value using the given information. For letter A, if YE is equal to x plus 5 and BS equals x plus 25, find the length of diagonal TE. For B, if the measure of angle SYT is equal to 4x plus 10, find the value of x. And for C, if the measure of angle EBS is equal to 2y minus 9, find the value of y. Again, the unknown for letter A, find the length of diagonal TE. For B, find the value of x, and for C, find the value of y. So the given are YE is equal to x plus 5 and BS is equal to x plus 25. Okay, so identify first what are the given. YE is a segment of diagonal TE and BS is a diagonal of square BEST. So, dito, TE is equal to TY plus YE. Okay po, diagonal TE ay equal sa sukat ni TY plus sukat ni YE. Since BS bisects TE, therefore, TY is equal to YE. Okay, anong property po yan? In a parallelogram, the diagonals bisect each other. Since square is a parallelogram, therefore, yung diagonals ng square, binabisect niya yung isa't isa. Kaya natin nasabi na si TY, itong length na to, ay congruent dito kay YE. Hence, ang sukat ni diagonal TE ay doble ng sukat ni YE. Kaya meron tayo dito, TE is equal to twice the length of YE. Since the diagonals of a square are congruent, therefore, TE is equal to BS. Okay. So, ang diagonals po ng square ay congruent. So, ang sukat ng BS ay congruent din kay TE. Bakit po kaya? One property of a rectangle is that its diagonals are congruent. Remember, square is a rectangle. whatever yung properties ni rectangle, pinopossess din po yun ni square. Kaya yung diagonals ni square ay congruent din. Kaya dito meron tayo TE is equal to BS. So by substitution, saan ba nanggaling si 2YE or twice the length of YE is equal to BS? Ito po kasi yun. Si TE po ay equal sa twice the length of YE. Sinabi natin dito kanina, TE is congruent to BS. So, by substitution, nagkaroon tayo dito, twice the length of YE is equal to the length of BS. Then, going back sa given, YE is equal to x plus 5, sinubstitute lang po natin dito. So, 2 times quantity x plus 5 equals BS po is equal daw kay x plus 25, kaya meron tayo ditong x plus 25. Then apply distributive property of multiplication over addition. So 2 times x, we have 2x, and then 2 times 5, we have 10. Then equals, okay, copy x plus 25. Combine like terms, so meron tayo dito 2x. Okay, saan nanggaling si minus x? Dahil positive yan, by additive inverse, nagkaroon tayo ng negative x dito or minus x. And then ito, dahil positive 10 yan, okay, by additive inverse, then nagkaroon tayo dito ng minus 10. So, dalawang x, bawasan ng isang x ay isang x. 25 minus 10 is 15. So, the value of x here is 15. Then, hindi pa nagtatapos dyan. Kasi ang pinapahanap kasi sa atin is the length of diagonal TE. So, isa-substitute po natin yung value ng x na nakuha natin. So, TE, okay, babalik po tayo dito. TE is equal to twice the length of YE. So, we have here, TE is equal to 2 times quantity x plus 5. So, TE equals 2 times, okay, the value of x which is 15. By substitution po yan, plus 5. So, TE is equal to, okay, i-simplify muna natin yung nasa loob ng parenthesis. So, 15 plus 5 is 20. So, 2 times 20 is equal to 40. So, TE is equal to 40. For letter B, angle SYT is a right angle since BS is perpendicular to TE. Diagonal BS is perpendicular to TE. So, lahat ng angle dito, ito, tsaka ito, they are all right angles. So, since angle SYT is a right angle, ang sukat niya ay 90. Kaya meron tayo dito 4x plus 10 equals 90. So, combine po lang natin yung constant. So, for x, ito 90. Dahil plus 10 yan, by additive inverse, nagkaroon tayo ng minus 10. For x, 90 minus 10 is equal to 80. Para x na lang maiwan, dahil ang coefficient natin dito ay 4, we divide both sides by 4. So, for x divided by 4 is x. 80 divided by 4 is 20. So, the value of x is equal to 20. For C, the measure of angle EBS is equal to 45. Okay, asa na si EBS? EBS, this angle. EBS is kalahati ni angle B. Okay po, bakit po siya 45? Since square is a rectangle, and the definition of a rectangle is it has 4 right angles, tama po ba? Bawat interior angle ng square, ang sukat niyan ay 90 degrees. So, kung si EBS ay kalahati ni angle B, ibig sabihin, kalahati siya ni 90. So, ang kalahati ni 90 divided by 2 is 45. Kaya meron tayo dito, the measure of angle EBS is equal to 45 degrees. Hence, 2y minus 9 equals 45. Then, combine like terms. So, may iwan dito si 2y. Dahil minus 9 yan, or negative 9 yan, by addition property of equality, magkakaroon tayo dito ng 45 plus 9. Then, simplify. So, 2y pa rin. 45 plus 9 is equal to 54. Para y na lang ang maiiwan, kasi yun naman ang pinapahanap sa atin, since the coefficient is 2, we have to divide both sides by 2. So, 2y divided by 2 is y, and then 54 divided by 2 is 27. Therefore, the length or the value of y is equal to 27. Thank you for listening and happy learning!